I thought he was coming back too soon to fight the same guy coming off of a knockout. And it's just my opinion is when you get knocked out and you take trauma to the brain, it takes time for you to come back and make it to where you don't just get touched, which he just got touched. Not bad in that first shot, but he went down.
Yeah.
And that's because, you know what? He did not recover from that first knockout a couple of months ago. And he wasn't in a position that he should have been training and fighting without recovering. It's something that fighters do. And you try to tell them, hey, the brain is the most important thing you have. If you broke your leg, you would take the time off. But because you broke your brain getting knocked out, you're not going to take the time off. You have to take the time off. And this fight just, it just epitomized it the entire way. I thought Joe was going to get, beat in it, and I thought he was going to get beat pretty easily.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to get handled as badly as he did.
Yeah.
It was just, that was if Figueiredo didn't get the finish, that's a 10-7 round.
Yeah.
Okay. That's dominating, just overwhelming round. He knocked him down 3 times. He had him in, submission holds. And look how tough Joe was getting out of those first ones, because some of them were tight. But man, coming back too soon, I feel bad for Joe. I really do, because he's a good guy. And he's a good fighter, man. He's a great fighter. And in this situation, he's fighting a guy who's got heavy hands. He got touched. Give it more time. Let him fight somebody else. And if he wins the title, then come back and rematch him. Great. But you've got to do the things that are going to give you the best opportunity to be successful when you step in the cage. And I didn't think that was done by setting him up in this fight this fast.
Well, I very rarely like to give the UFC a nod, but the reason why they're doing it is because they're a big fan of Joe. The UFC loves Joe. Joe's a great guy. You've said it yourself right now. And we all know that he's a great guy. He's a phenomenal person. And everybody that's ever been around him, his personality is contagious. He's someone that is just fun to be around. He's a great person. You can see from the inside out, he's a great person. To touch on the head trauma, I can tell you guys from personal experience. I had got dropped one time in training towards the end of my career, and it just was a snowball effect. It felt like every time after that I started getting touched, it was like it got stung. It was like I didn't get dropped all the time, but I got stung. It was like I saw flashing lights like you do when you take a clean, hard shot in a real fight, not just in sparring with 16-ounce gloves. So the common mistake for fighters is to do this is, okay, I got sat to my butt, but I wasn't out, so I'll keep training. The biggest mistake, I've talked to several doctors, brain doctors, neurologists. I've talked to several of them after the fact, obviously, and I wish I could do it all over again differently. But then I wouldn't be where I am right now trying to give you guys this advice. This is the problem is your brain needs time to fully recover. And what I mean by that is you need to make sure that your body never stops, your body doesn't overheat, because that makes your brain overheat, and that keeps your brain from recovering. So if you continue to keep sparring, you continue to keep running sprints, it doesn't matter if you're getting hit in the head. It matters that if your body temperature starts to rise and your brain starts to get too hot, that keeps your brain from recovering. And so what happens is guys, after they get dropped, sit to their butt, whatever it is, they keep training like no big deal. And then it continuously comes back over and over and over again. And then every shot you take after that is more brain damage and more brain damage. And like an idiot, I kept training. And this was towards the end of my career. So I started noticing as I started fighting more that every time I got hit, it was like I was a step behind. Every time I got hit, I just started getting slower and slower because my reaction time, my brain wasn't processing the things that were going on. I say, throw a jab, put my hand up. It wasn't processing it fast enough to block things. And so once you get dropped in training, fighters, young fighters specifically, once you get dropped in training, stop training. Don't do anything that's going to cause your butt. Don't sit in a sauna. Don't get in a hot tub. Don't do any of the things that's going to cause your body to overheat. I was even told by the doctor, don't even read a book.
That's it.
He said,
nothing. Don't do your bills. Have somebody else sit down and do the mathematics for it.
Yep.
Anything that taxes your brain at that time is not good for it. And it reduces the healing pattern that is necessary for you to come back and be the exact person you were. You know, I just feel bad for Joe. I really do. And you're right. The UFC loves Joe and they gave him this shot. But sometimes you got to do those things, you know, like we were talking about Yuri Proveska when he was offered a contract with the UFC and he turned it down and he fought other places because he said, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
And it's hard if you're getting a championship spot. I know it's hard for Joe to say no, but damn, it was the right thing to do, because if he could have gotten some more time, I do think he would have at least put on a better performance, because he wouldn't have been hurt by some of the things that he was getting hurt by tonight.
Yeah.
100% agree. Okay.